Hey everyone, it's Johnny Mac here. It is Wednesday, November 10th, 10 days away from my birthday. I'm gonna be 36 years old. I mean, it blows me away that, time goes by that fast. Just to think that I've been in the car business for 18 years alone. Thank you guys for all the positive feedback on my my video for acing the job interview. I know it was crude and unedited, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted something unedited. I hate these sterile videos that people put up, some of these big name gurus that are recorded over and over and over and over again, and they charge you hundreds, not even, sometimes even thousands of dollars to get their videos or their help or their CDs. And I just think it's pretty terrible. I think that some of you guys are getting beat out of your money, and a lot of stuff you guys can get, is mostly free. And, the most valuable thing you guys can get is the power from within yourself. I think that's the most important thing. So, all right, heading on my way to work, I'm going to touch on something that I actually get asked about all the time. And actually, Automotive News did an article on me a couple weeks ago about success after high school with no college. Now, I mean, this means if you're, 18 years old, or it means if you're, 25 or 30 or 35 or 40, you do not need college to be successful. People always think that, hey, you know what, I'm going to solve all my problems and go back to school. No, it doesn't solve all your problems. Actually, if you really think about it, it's just as risky as going to college as it is, starting your own business. Because think about it, you're outlaying a bunch of money, and you do not even know if you're going to get a job in your field. You don't even know if you're going to like the job in your field. You're just basically taking a dart and throwing it at a dartboard and basically saying, hey, listen, this is what my new career is going to be. Oh, awesome. It's going to be wonderful. I guarantee you I'm going to hit the bullseye. No. How often do people hit the bullseye? Well, even if you're a great dart player, 1 out of, 5 times, 1 out of 8 times, come on, it's just not going to happen. Probably statistics are even higher than that. I'm just pulling it out of the sky here. But imagine this. Imagine if you just develop good work habits and go into any job with a plan. It could be from a minimum wage job starting at, everybody criticizes this and, but a fast food chain, Okay, so let's say you go there and you work really hard for 4 years. You could become a manager or district manager, and you could be making, I'm talking really work hard. I'm not talking about show up 10 minutes late and, leave 5 minutes early. I'm talking about really go there, work, immerse yourself, and learn the process and the product. You could be a district manager in 4 to 5 years, okay? So you go from making minimum wage to, 40, 50 grand a year. So imagine this. Imagine somebody that goes to college and on a minimum level is spending $25,000 a year, okay? So in 4 years, you're 100 grand in debt. I'm talking at a minimum. It's more like probably like 150, 200 grand, but at a minimum, you're 100 grand in debt. And the person that started out working at a minimum wage job, giving it their all 4 years ago, is going to probably make about, 25 grand a year. So imagine this. For the person who never went to school one day and to the person who went to 4 years and got a degree, you're talking that you're $200,000 behind the 8 ball for the person who just started working. Think about it. Someone starts on minimum wage, 200 grand ahead of the 8 ball. Person who went to school for 4 years, 200 grand behind the 8 ball. Okay. And that person now has 4 years in their field. Let's say you went to school for business. Okay, great. You went to school for business. You got a 4-year degree. You get out. You have no management skills. You have no, people interaction skills. You've been just sitting in a classroom, writing down and submitting facts to a professor. What kind of experience do you have? You just have a degree. You have a piece of paper that says you're, capable of doing it. Yeah, everybody's capable of doing something, but this just kind of gives you a little bit of validation. But companies want experience anyways. So let's say you got 4 years in the field, then you're going to basically tell your family, oh, I got a job. But, it's, I need 2 years in my field to do it. So now you're 6 years in. So now you're still working at the low end of the totem pole for another 2 years. So you're 6 years behind. You wasted 6 years of your life to do something that you actually could have done if you just went out there and worked hard. Some of the wealthiest people I know, and I'm not talking wealthy people like, net, worth $1 million, $2 million. I'm talking net worth, 40, 50, $100 million, didn't really go to school and didn't apply any of the things they even used in high school. It's just simple, common sense math, and and that's pretty much all you need to pretty much get through in this world. Everybody thinks that getting a degree is the holy grail of succeeding in life. It really is not. I also want to tell people that, hey, listen, if you work really hard in something and you're progressive enough and you're savvy enough and you have a good mentor, you could pretty much navigate any job field and work your way to the middle relatively quick. I mean, obviously when you get into something, don't get into something that's a dead end job. Don't work for these big corporations that basically require a degree to progress and move forward. I mean, I can think of 5-10 companies off the top of my head that you can get into that are progressive enough that you could start at minimum wage or anywhere between 25 to 40,000 a year and progress your way up to $80,000, $100,000 within a couple of years. Also imagine that if you are, going to become an electrician or a plumber, what happens? You learn your craft and then you get an apprenticeship. So you're working anywhere between a year to 4 years in your field, making peanuts, learning how to do this. Just because you become, learn the craft of being an electrician doesn't mean that you can go wire a school tomorrow. No, it doesn't happen that way. People, pretty much want to wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I'm going to be a real estate agent. Hey, I'm going to sell, $1 million houses. And hey, I'm going to do it and be great at it. There's only one person I know that has done that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody watches $1 million listings. They say, oh my God, this is so easy. Guys, that's edited reality TV. They don't, show the, thousands of phone calls and the thousands of turndowns and the thousands of no's. I'd like to, create a reality show and show you guys what it's really like out there. How, yeah, granted, on, a fair year, I sell 4,000 cars. Okay. But you realize how many people say no and how many, how many Saturdays or how many Sundays or how many, small day offs you spend. Small holidays you spend, in the office or on the phone with customers or, on the phone with shareholders or people like that. People don't realize how hard it is. So a couple things. Yes, you can be successful after high school with no college. It's actually relatively easy. All you have to do is go out there and work. It's just as the same as, having a degree. But, you have to be willing to sacrifice things. A lot of people nowadays take their small holidays. I'm saying small holidays like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, etc. And their Saturdays and their Sundays, they hold so sacred that they refuse to work those hours. Guys, what are you going to do? You're going to end up sitting home raking leaves or, not doing much anyways. I'm not saying that, hey, quality of life and being with your family. Being with your family is the most important thing. No doubt about it. But, if you're living in a one-bedroom apartment and you got 2 kids and, you want a better life for yourself, you're going to have to go out there and work. There's nobody that's going to give you the opportunity or the chance to succeed or do that much better in life and really change your stars if you're not willing to work and put in the hours. It's just not going to happen. So if you're willing to work, if you're willing to be, take that extra step, sacrifice, work more hours, do things outside of your job role and your job description, and work your butt off, you can get to pretty much anywhere you want in life without education. You do not need education. So today, when you're thinking about making a change and, changing careers or taking the next step in your life, do not think that school is the complete foolproof plan to pretty much progress in your life, because it's not. A lot of times it's just a hole. You got to remember that I deal with thousands of people each year and their finances, and what's probably the number one thing that hurts people's credit? They're like, oh, I had student loans that I didn't want to pay for because I got into a field that I didn't want to go into. Guys, don't think that's 1 out of 10. It's probably 6 out of 10 people do that, and the government makes loans so easy to get. They say, hey, great, I'm going back to school, continuing education. I hate that. I want to do something different. Society nowadays plays hot potato with everything from relationships to careers to everything. So, find something you're passionate about, find something you're in love with, go after it, attack it with a vengeance, work hard, ignore your Saturdays, ignore your Sundays. If you really, really want to drive, a fancy car and live in a big house, you got to work hard. That's it. That's really the key to success. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'm still stuck in traffic, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.